Do not surf. Do not go on the beach. This will kill you.
And right now, Florida's governor is urging people to get out. Hurricane Matthew is edging closer to the state.
While that happens, locals with loved ones in the storm's path pay close attention to the forecast.
First, the latest on the severe weather threat in our region tonight.
Live from 7 Burlington Station, this is Omaha's news leader. KETV News Watch 7 at 5.
And right now, our crews are tracking the breaking weather developments here at home and to our south with Hurricane Matthew.
Yeah, parts of our area under a tornado watch right now. We're going to start with Chief Meteorologist Bill Ramby.
Yeah, Melissa, David, tornado watch goes until 9 o'clock this evening for essentially the Omaha Metro points east and south. That's a live look from the Omaha Metro, and it's just gloomy. And you look at that and you say, how are we going to get a tornado out of that? And I don't think we will. Around the Omaha area, we're 61 degrees. It's currently cloudy. But farther south, there is still a risk that some of these storms will produce severe weather. So these are the counties under the tornado watch. That's Douglas, Pottawatomie, and southward. And currently, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for this cell in Saline County here. You see the warned area. This goes till 5:15. The thunderstorm moving northeastward, but pretty sparsely populated in the middle of the county there. Crete and Wilbur are eventually going to be the path, but that thing has been weakening as it's coming to the north. Meantime, lots of clouds in the area. So again, there's the watch area, but it appears that best heating is going to be way south, Auburn, Falls City. That's more where the risk of a tornado would be, in my opinion, this evening. Here's our storm predictor, 5 o'clock. Not perfect, but an idea of what's happening. From now till about 6 o'clock, scattered thunderstorms develop and move into the Omaha Metro. Possibly severe storms down here around Tecumseh, also Nebraska City, Auburn. 7 o'clock into southwest Iowa, and it's really along that line in south where I think there is a tornado threat. We may get a little hail from some of the storms in the Omaha Metro. There's 8:30, there's 10 o'clock. Things are done. And overnight tonight, that activity moves out of the area. And again, the limiting factor, the temperatures are cooler in the Omaha Metro. A front is situated south, so it's near this front. Nebraska City, Shenandoah Falls City in the 70s, where in all likelihood, the most severe weather will be this evening. Still, some rumbles of thunder here, possibly some small hail between now and 7 o'clock, 58 then. And then it's cloudy by 9 in Omaha and down to 47 by 1 a.m. Much cooler weather for tomorrow. We'll have more on the rest of the forecast into the weekend coming up in just a bit. Guys?
There are no excuses. You need to leave. Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate.
A clear warning for residents along the eastern Florida coast tonight. Hurricane Matthew needs to be taken seriously. The storm has already claimed more than 100 lives in the Caribbean. Evacuations tonight are the largest since Hurricane Sandy 4 years ago.
Right now, watches and warnings extend from Florida to North Carolina. More than 1.5 million Floridians are in the evacuation zones. Officials deployed 2,500 National Guard members to help get people out. Matthew is moving northwest at 13 miles an hour, and the eye of the storm is ripping into Freeport in the Bahamas.
And while Matthew closes in on the U.S., some people here at home are thinking of their loved ones who are in Florida right now.
KETV News Watch 7 Sean Everson spoke with some of them and continues our coverage. Sean?
David and Melissa, people around the metro are paying especially close attention to Hurricane Matthew as it gets closer to the East Coast. I spoke with Amanda Arnold of Council Bluffs, who lived in Florida for 20 years before moving to Iowa in 2009. Her parents are still living along the coast in Sebastian, Florida, just south of Melbourne, putting them close to the strongest part of the storm. Arnold says she's experienced several hurricanes herself while she lived there and knows how devastating they can be. She's been texting her mom this week and the days leading up as they prepare. Despite the warnings to evacuate, she says her parents are staying put and riding out the storm.
Their new house is going to be a lot better. It's concrete block house. They've got actual hurricane shutters on it instead of just boards on the windows. And I think that they're fairly confident that they're going to get through it.
Now, Arnold says she is nervous about what will happen with the storm being a Category 4 hurricane. Coming up at 6, we're hearing from another Iowan with family in South Carolina and a local Red Cross volunteer heading down after the storm passes. Back to you.
All right, Sean, thank you. Time is not on anyone's side right now. The Category 4 storm could make landfall tonight.
Yeah, it's going to bring devastating wind and more than a foot of rain. KETV News Watch 7's Aixa Diaz continues our coverage.
David, Melissa, President Obama signed an emergency declaration for Florida at the request of the governor, providing assistance ahead of Hurricane Matthew.
Florida prepares for what could be a catastrophic storm.
I can't
overemphasize or underscore how deadly this storm can be.
As Hurricane Matthew takes aim at the East Coast, the state's governor tells residents to expect the worst.
Our number one priority is protecting everyone's life.
Officials warn of pounding rain, powerful winds, punishing storm surge, and prolonged power outages.
We really need folks to pay attention to the potential of flooding and extended power outages at that time as well, not just a few hours or days, but potentially weeks.
President Obama has declared 28 Florida counties emergency areas, authorizing the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA to mobilize equipment and resources.
People should take confidence from knowing that federal officials have been working very effectively with officials at the state and local level to prepare in advance of this storm.
Airports in Fort Lauderdale and Orlando will be closed tonight and tomorrow, as well as the major theme parks in Central Florida, Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld. In Washington, Aixa Diaz, KETV Newswatch 7.
And right now on KETV.com, live streaming coverage from our Florida sister stations who are in the path of the storm. You're going to find links to WPBF online and the KETV mobile app.
Day 4 of testimony in the state versus Anthony Garcia, and today crime scene techs walked the jury through the 2013 murder scene. This diagram shows where police found the bodies of Roger and Mary Brumback on May 14th of that year. Techs spent 12 hours combing the home for evidence. The killer used a gun in this attack, so they used a laser to trace the path of a bullet they found. The crime lab also recovered this gun recoil spring and found small black hair near a tipped-over paint can. They marked it with that yellow tag. But it wouldn't be the only time techs would comb the Shirley Street home for evidence. They returned a month later in June. That's when they found a single palm print left at the scene. Tonight at 6, more on the autopsies and what they revealed about how the Brumbacks died.
Well, attorneys for Nico Jenkins want to withdraw 2 no contest pleas following the 2013 quadruple murders that a judge found Jenkins guilty of. See, back in April of 2014, Jenkins entered the no contest pleas on 2 counts of possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. Court documents say the pleas were not knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently made. A hearing on that matter is scheduled for tomorrow. And the man accused of shooting at drivers near Creighton University is out of the hospital and in court today. A judge set 26-year-old Cody Conley's bond at $1 million. Police say bullets from his gun hit a truck 3 times, another vehicle twice. Officers later shot Conley when he allegedly put a gun to his head. Omaha police say Conley tested positive for cocaine and marijuana. He's due back in court October 31st. And we have learned of another staff assault at the state penitentiary in Lincoln Wednesday. This time, 2 inmates apparently used homemade weapons to hit the worker. That person was hospitalized, should be okay. Corrections Director Scott Frakes says the department will not tolerate violence within the prisons. The assault remains under investigation.
Back in the metro, police say a robber forced the manager of the Burger King near 30th and Dodge to open a safe and hand over cash. It happened before 5:30 this morning. The crook then ran away. In Sarpy County, deputies arrest this man after chasing him Wednesday. 49-year-old Richard Worth faces several charges. Deputies say he sped away from a motel near Highway 50 and Interstate 80 on Wednesday afternoon. They arrested him after his car blew a tire.
Gage County officials are appealing that $28 million civil judgment awarded to the so-called Beatrice Six. They're the people who were found to be wrongly convicted in the 1985 rape and murder of a Beatrice woman. Gage County is now asking a court of appeals to block the verdict. An attorney says that the county cannot easily pay the judgment if it is upheld, but the appeal should allow more time for them to come up with that money.
Just in from Omaha Mayor Gene Stothard's office, Omaha Fire Department Assistant Chief Shane Hunter moves up in the process to become the city's next chief after another candidate drops out. Shane Hunter's been with the Omaha Fire Department since 1997. Hunter also spent 6 years as a U.S. Air Force security specialist and has a bachelor's degree from Bellevue University. He joins 3 others that scored highest in the testing phase. They will all be interviewed by the mayor first. In a house fire, seconds count.
Yeah, the firefighters who come to your door need to know what to do within a moment's notice. That's why one Papillion crew today burned to learn. KETV News Watch 7's Alex Alisi reports.
This house fire was set on purpose, but it wasn't arson. It's all part of training. Our firefighters need this experience because it allows them to put on their protective gear and be exposed to heat that they wouldn't normally get just through training at the fire station.
Deputy Fire Chief Jeff Jones explains that this isn't as simple as just lighting the house on fire. There is a lot of prep work.
All the utilities have to get removed. We have to go through the house to make sure it's structurally sound so it's safe for us to be inside burning.
They also board up all the windows.
We're controlling the air movement in the house. That allows us to keep the fire in and to kind of control it when we're actually burning.
Since the firefighters only have one chance to burn this house, they make the most of it.
We try and get as many live burns out of each one of those rooms as we can so we can get as many crews through as we can. In the end, what we'll end up doing is we'll light it typically in the basement and we'll let the house burn down.
This last part may just look like an out-of-control fire just to watch a house burn, but is really another training opportunity.
We're teaching our firefighters how to protect exposures. There's power lines. There's a house to the west of this one. So they learn how to set up the lines to protect exposure.
It's also a chance for Peyton Orr to watch his dad in action, and like father, like son.
I want to put out fires.
It's opportunities like this to have a live fire exercise that makes the whole community safer. Reporting in Papillion, Alex Lisi, KETV News Watch 7.
And that house that you saw there was slated to be demolished. Local fire departments can actually apply through the state to conduct training in homes like this.
Well, the Weather Now storm team still tracking tonight's severe weather. Bill's back with a live update in just 2.5 minutes.
Plus, Hurricane Matthew bearing down on a key battleground state in the race for president. Why analysts say it could impact the upcoming election.
Right now, a live view of Omaha's rush hour from the Nebraska Department of Roads camera near I-480 and Dodge Street, looking northeast there.
You're watching Omaha's news leader, KETV News Watch 7, with David Earl, Melissa Fry, and your Weather Now forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Randby. Live from 7 Burlington Station, this is KETV News Watch 7 at 5.